What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? For the last couple days, I've been giving you perfect predictions of what's going on with Terra Luna Classic. But the people, the haters, if you will, they come, they look at the thumbnail, and then they make comments like, but I don't think you do because it's good. And then when you look at it, it doesn't do it because it's good. Because you said it's awesome, but it's not awesome because it's not going to wait up. And that's the way you talk in my head when you say ignorant stuff like that. You don't listen to the content to begin with. I get to make fun of you. That's the cost of admission, bro, or ma'am, whatever you prefer to be called. I don't know your pronouns. I don't mean to presume. So what I think is going on right now is exactly what I told you was going to go on. And let's get into the chart first again today, and let's look at what's going on. Make sure you hit that like button on the way. What did I tell you on Friday? I told you on Friday that I thought we were going to run up here to the 200 MA. So what did I say up here? I said the normal course of events would be that you're going to drop back down to the 50 MA. You're going to go from the 50 MA, do a retest, which we're seeing the retest already happening right here. That leads to a bounce back up here to the 200 for another test, a break above. And then this time we've got a nice little break, and the 200 MA will have gotten into a position where most likely we can get a nice little bounce. And that's just a, by the way, this does not mean that that we're doing it that way. It's a lagging indicator, but this is going to happen then, and then boom, what are we going to get? We're going to get the golden cross. Now, it's only been a couple times that the golden cross has happened. When the golden cross happens on the daily, guess what? We get massive moves. We get massive moves. Golden cross is a big deal. Again, it's a lagging indicator, but it does let people know that there's positive momentum. That makes investors want to invest. You know what doesn't make them want to invest? Down, 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 down. That's what they don't want to see. That the 200 MA is important to traders. And when they see a positive swing on that, then they're going to get back in because they know that there's money on the table. Now, that's not sustained money, by the way. Don't forget, that's not sustained money. That's just traders moving on price action. The move back to the 200, short term. Let's talk short term. Back to the 200, then a break above. Then we get the golden cross, and then within days, of this golden cross, which is about to happen over here, boom, we're going to have this run up into 301. Like that seems like the most logical play out. Beyond that, I don't know. I do think that we have a chance to break out, but that's a narrative thing. And let me give you some narrative reasons why this could be what's happening next. And we're going to start off with an old post back in January when Mr. Diamond Hands himself went to Charles Hoskinson on one of his threads and says, Lunk's been doing this since 2022. Would love to see both chains collab. The community took over after stablecoin abandoned it, and Binance burns the supply monthly. People need to check it out. And then Hoskinson says, would love to learn more. We have a lot of ideas about algorithmic stables. Who's the lead? Now, we didn't have a lead at that point. Going to the thread in which it happened, you can see here, Redline Drifter, a couple of other people, kind of breaking down and explaining that we don't have a leader over here. And by the way, if nothing happened in 6 months, let me go back to this. Let me say this, okay? 6 months ago, one of the biggest managers of a stablecoin, Cardano, okay, I know it's not a stable coin, but you get my point. It rejects at $1 and it goes back to 80 cents and rejects at $1. You know what I'm talking about. You get it. And I'm kidding. But 6 months ago, the leader of Cardano is talking about, you know what? I would actually love to explore helping Terra Luna Classic. Who's the leader? And then everybody chimed in, we don't have any leadership. And here we are 6 months later. I mean, I shouldn't even have to say more. This is simple stuff. You have to have a path forward. Everybody, look, can I tell you, if you go to a motivational speaker, if you go to anybody who tells you about life in itself, what do they tell you to do? Create a plan. If you don't have a plan, you don't have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, you're not going to make it. Now, let's go back to Terra Luna Classic. Do we have a plan? Do we have somebody writing the plan down to follow the plan? The answer to that is a resounding no. The reason that we have that situation is because you guys, not me, you guys are validating with people who don't care. You're validating with people who vote against your better interest. Now, could they be voting for your long-term interest? That's entirely possible. Anything could happen in the long term. But in the short term, if you want something to be successful, you must attract new eyes. In order to attract new eyes, you have to create opportunity. In order to do all of those kind of things, you're going to need leadership, leading and doing stuff. And we don't have any leadership leading and doing stuff. You know what we've got? We got people unstaking right now so that they can, whatever it is that they're going to do, whatever it is that they intend to do. But when you look at the staking, when you look at where we are right now, it is really getting low. In fact, let me show you this. This is the staking pool over here. You zoom out a little bit longer and we were over $1 trillion staked. We are now unstaking to the point that we're at 866 billion staking. And in the unbonding window over here, there is a massive amount unbonding, okay? Some people got it right here. Now, there could be, it could be that they've started that sell-off. Now, why would I think that they started that sell-off? I don't really, but I mean, we're sitting around 60 something. Anybody who accumulated in this 5 range right here is up 20% right now. 20% is a reasonable profit. If you have $10,000 that you put into Luna Classic, you caught the bottom and now you're up 20%, that's a couple $1,000s. Does everybody think this thing is going to go back 40x or 50x? No, they do not. They're looking for opportunity to make money. And by the way, that's just pulling liquidity out of the project because they won. And by long-term holding, you lost, but you're holding the bag and still maintaining and waiting for this move up here while they're coming in here and selling right here and bringing us back down here and then buying again and then selling here and then buying here and then selling here and then buying here and then selling here. All the while, a small amount of liquidity is escaping every single time. That's what downward momentum looks like, and that's the reason for the downward momentum. They're scalping you, and they're taking your money. So we need to reverse that. We need, that's right, leadership. So going back to this, we had this discussion. Everybody just proudly said, there's no leadership. And 6 months later, Charles Hoskinson hasn't done anything, talked to anything, there's nothing happening with that. So if that were to change, there would be a big difference in what's going on. But you guys can now, I hope, see that the real people, the professionals in crypto, not the happy catty cryptos who are like, we should not help anybody and nobody should help us and we should not have leadership. The people that do that kind of stuff, those are the ones that you're validating with. And guess what? Every time they vote, they're killing you a little bit. They're killing you a little bit. And if you don't think I'm right, prove where I'm wrong. There's an entire chart. There's everything you need in order for you to show me how I'm wrong about any of it. We need leadership. Speaking of leadership, leadership is not a problem at terracasino.io, where you can go for all your risk-based gaming needs and for all your sports gaming wagering. And there's a great opportunity here. Don't forget, they are giving away tons and tons and tons of capital on the daily. Right now, you've got Shadow Treasure. Ooh, who likes a spooky spider? I like a spooky spider. Do you like spooky spiders? You don't like spooky spiders because they're spooky? Well, whatever. We're getting close and close and close to Halloween at some point, so maybe it's time to get scared. Bet and win 125 euros through Terra Casino and a partnership with Evolution through September 28. There's big money being given away every single day. And why does the Big Bass Boxing look like FTR? If you watch wrestling, you know what I'm talking about. It looks like FTR. Anyway, guys, sign up and start playing today. If you want to trade coins, tokens anywhere on this ecosystem, Terraport.finance is the place for you. This is where you go to make those trades. Remember, you can buy Selenium over here, you can buy Juris Protocol over here, you can buy Garuda X over here, you can buy Cookie over here, you can buy the Believe token over here, you can buy Peas because it's unbonded, I think. You can buy Terra. You can stake your Terra, and you can earn from your Terra. Now, I don't have my wallet attached. I do have to do that so that I can unstake and restake the Terra. But I don't have my wallet attached to this computer anymore because I don't want somebody to steal it. For those of you that don't know, J-Chains, one of my friends and an influencer that was with Ben Armstrong, he got hacked and lost everything the other day, including his bank account. Like, they stole everything from him, and it was through a Microsoft Teams Zoom call. So just crazy stuff out here happening right now. Be very, very careful with your fund. Nothing on Commonwealth to speak of. Movement on the charts, Juris Protocol looking pretty good at or near that all-time high. But when you look at it overall, down, still, everything is still down kind of significant over the last bunch of days. We got Garuda X over here, same thing. Just, we're not seeing that gigantic spike in movement that we're hoping to see. We're seeing that drain right now. And why are we seeing that drain? Well, go back to the chart. Bitcoin is kind of ranging right now. So the liquidity's been getting sucked out of us for this range of time. Look over here. For this length of time, we had a little bit of upward momentum as we started to test altcoin season, but we still need Bitcoin to make another big move. And what I mean by that is Bitcoin has to get up here so that some of that capital gets pulled out as profit and gets moved into Ethereum. And then Ethereum continues on, goes to 4,500, 5,000, and then that money cascades down to Solana, which then breaks out and does this move all over again. And then we get into mid caps, and you start to see things like Ondo really start to rip. You start to look at SWI really start to rip. You start to look at things like Luna Classic really start to rip. That's when all of this is going to happen. So that's what we're waiting to see. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't flipped that switch. When is it going to flip? Well, it's flipping right now. We're looking for that next leg up. Now, remember, the Fed meets today for the FOMC meeting, and we're going to get rate cuts, or we're going to get no rate cut. And if we get no rate cut, it is my impression that Donald Trump has got to fire Jerome Powell. So there's going to be some interesting things happening in the market over the next couple days. Now, I want to say that it would not be unheard of at this point to see Jerome Powell do an absolute abrupt about face. The reason that he's been holding off was because of tariffs and because he wanted to see what the effects of tariffs were on inflation. And by the way, tariffs are going to make things more expensive, but that money's going back for what we would consider to be a noble purpose, which would allow us to reduce taxes. If we can raise tariff revenue, we reduce taxes. That's the way that it works right now. And Donald Trump, as a Republican, is somebody who's looking to lower taxes. So overall, people will strike up that narrative and say, oh, you know how I'm being taxed with a tariff? Well, it's different if I'm not being taxed directly from the IRS. Somehow that's better because that's what they do. I don't understand it, but and we're not pretending that foreign companies are paying these, right? We're smarter than that by this point. What we're doing is we're charging Americans more to buy foreign products, encouraging them to buy American products. That should be the only thing that matters to you in that regard. But what we do have to do is refinance the debt, and refinancing the debt takes the Fed lowering those rates so that we can actually do that refinancing. It's important and imperative that we do that because we're going to spend $1 trillion in extra interest because of the current rates. So we got to get this under control. Hopefully, we're going to start that tomorrow when we make the announcement. It's going to be midday tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of volatility in the market. You could see an absolutely parabolic, explosive move. Now, in the event Jerome Powell reduces it by 50 basis points, by the way, there's nothing saying that he will or that it's even on the table. What we're looking at right now is no cut or 25 basis point cut. But if he goes radical because he's been meeting with Donald Trump and Trump maybe convinced him, and we look at 50 basis point cut to see what the market does and how the markets respond. If we see something like that happen, then all bets are off. This thing goes absolutely insane, and we start to see capital gains of a huge level running up to this. So that's what we're watching for right now. As far as volume goes, still rising a little bit in volume, but 11 million, not the number. We want 100 million in volume. We're down to 6.8 million on Terra Classic, but of course we were at 5 million yesterday. So again, we're down in volume, but it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. And I know we always say that, but it is still a matter of time. Now, going through this, there's been some burns, not a lot of burns, but some burns leading to 234. Remember, it was 240 yesterday, so we're coming down a little bit deeper. We got to burn more. The end. So market module 2, hopefully something big happens right now. A quick follow-up here. Leonardo is talking about ceramic, where the UST1, the stablecoin, will be built on LUNC. The USTC that gets converted to USTR and locked in the collateral market maker will be bridged from LUNC to BSC. Unfortunately, the big yield-bearing asset to fuel the repeg aren't on LUNC. So, what are we talking about here? Well, if you stake your if you use your USTC, you convert it to USTR. USTR is on BSC, so you'll be bridged over there, and that's where you're going to earn the yield because we don't have yield over here. So the bridge being built will make it cheap and easy to bridge between chains built primarily on the repeg due to Portal dropping LUNC. It will also be made available for others to use, and will be expanded to include other blockchains. Well, I think Sol being next on the list. So there you have it. There's something going on here. And by the way, the fact that this is Luna Classic specific does mean a lot. So you should at least consider that not only are we exposed out here to the BSC chain, at some point we're going to expose our ecosystem to Solana ecosystem. And guess what? You're going to pull Chads. Those are the retail guys. That's where you're going to pull eyes from, I think. So, maybe that's a really, really good thing that happened. We're keeping a watch on it. I don't know when that's going to be, but we should have some more information in fairly short order. Then it's going to come up for proposal. We've got, of course, the SDK proposal right here that doesn't look like it's going to pass, but we've got the upgrade 3.5 that probably will pass. And that is your update for the day. I know I went on a rant here about leadership, and if you disagree with me, again, just point to the chart where I'm wrong. That's it. Just point to the chart where I'm wrong. It's not financial advice. I'm always right.